All right, welcome to Beans Ball Hour. We're back for episode 10. We hit a milestone, double digit episode number for the actual podcast, even though there's a bunch of videos on the channel that are basically the same but are not technically the podcast. It doesn't really matter. But this is episode 10 of the pod, and we're coming off of an NFL week 5 that, let's just say, did not go well for me really in any way whatsoever. I mean, from start to finish, top to bottom, nothing went well. Everything I just it was bad. The Ravens 44 to 10 to Houston just got absolutely dominated. Cooper Rush looks like the worst player in the history of the sport. The offensive line is terrible. The defense is the worst defense I've ever laid eyes on in Baltimore. Is bad. The Seahawks lose a shootout 38 to 35 to Tampa. That one, I mean, it could have gone worse. We could have got just blown out by Tampa. We played them tough. We should have probably won the game. But Sam Darnold trying to throw it into the dirt and it somehow gets intercepted because it goes off of a guy's helmet. That was fucking stupid. A stupid way to lose a game, but you know, tough. And arguably the worst thing to happen for my reputation this week was the Saints won. The Saints won a football game 26 to 14 over the Giants after I said very confidently for pretty much the whole season and most of the offseason leading up. I just basically said they're going to go 0-17. They're not going to win any games. They won a game. And, you know, maybe if the Giants didn't bench Russell Wilson, they would have won this game. You know, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. It's possible. If they didn't bench Russ, they'd have won the game. I'm just, put that out there. Put that into the ether. Go back to him. Brian Dayball, you dipshit. Um, Gino, my guy, it's getting worse. It's getting late very early in Las Vegas. It is getting late early. No touchdowns, 2 picks, 228 yards for Gino. It's bad. It's going real south, real fast out there. Minnesota, Cleveland. I didn't even get to watch this game. This was the morning game. I was gonna get up for it, but then I went out and I didn't get home till 4 in the morning. I guess on Sunday morning, I didn't get home till 4 in the morning. So my options were I can just stay up and watch the game and not sleep, or I can just go to sleep and get up for the regular slate. And I decided that the Vikings and Browns was not worth. It was not worth missing all of my sleep over. And and I think that was the right decision. 21 to 17 Vikings. The Panthers won. Beans picks were very bad this week. Beans picks were very bad. I guess we'll just do that now. I went fucking 5-9 this week. 5-9. The only teams I picked correctly were the Vikings, the Cowboys, the Colts, the Commanders, and the Lions. Those were the only 5 teams that I picked that won. The Rams lost. The Ravens lost. Miami lost. Giants, Eagles, Seahawks, Cardinals, Bills, Chiefs, all lost. They all lost. How did the Bills lose? Drake May, doorstep of destiny. Maybe they're back. Maybe the Patriots are back. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence. Is the Prince back? Trevor Lawrence. Maybe they're back. Seattle goes into Jacksonville next week. And the Jags are probably feeling themselves over there. So you know what? I kind of like that. Give them some confidence. Make them think they're like that when they're really just not. The fucking Niners won on Thursday night too. That pissed me off. 26-23 is the final score of that game. Mac Jones goes for 342 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, 142 yards. Stafford throws 47 times. Mac Jones throws 49 times. My goodness, what a fucked up game that was. That was bad week, man. Bad week. Um I could talk about the Ravens game, but what is there to say? The Texans offense was completely pedestrian and awful for the entire start of the season. They play the Ravens and immediately put up 44. They look all of a sudden, CJ Stroud looks like an MVP caliber guy again. Nick Chubb is good still somehow. Christian Kirk, he's good again too when they play the Ravens. I just and Cooper Rush is terrible. Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley's back. He's on the team. They said that he would be considered to start against the Rams, but it's the Rams. It's not going to matter. We're going to lose. We're going to be down to 1-5 before the bye, and we're going to rely on Lamar Jackson coming back and superhero carrying this team for the rest of the year and getting us back into the playoff mix. Now it's the AFC, and it's the AFC North, so it's possible. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm delusional for holding out hope, but it's possible. I still think it's possible we get into the playoffs. And if we get into the playoffs and we have Lamar Jackson, that means we have a chance. It might be a 0.001% chance, but it's a chance, okay? And that's kind of all I'm looking for. So I watched that game. Not very closely because we were getting dominated after a while. I said, I'm not watching Cooper Rush just embarrass himself. I'm not watching this team embarrass themselves. I don't even remember what I started watching after that. I think it was the Cowboys game, but I don't remember, and I don't really care. I'm going to say right now, this is probably going to be a short episode because I really don't have time. My days off are fucked up this week, so I have today off and I have Friday off, so I kind of have to do it today. But I also have plans today, so I have about another hour window to do this, and so I don't know if it's gonna get uploaded or not. It might not get uploaded till Thursday morning. I should have said the time when I started. Wednesday, October 8, 2025. It's 2:52 p.m. Happy birthday to my boy Jose at Romero Cuts on Instagram. It's his birthday today. Shout out to him. And that's, I don't know, yeah, we're potting still. Buccaneers 38-35 over Seattle. Baker, 87.9 completion percentage, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. Emeka Egbuka was dominant, 7 receptions, 163 yards, and a touchdown. But Sam Darnold and JSN were right there with them. Darnold 341, 82.3 completions, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. JSN 8 receptions, 132 yards, and a touchdown. Ken Walker gave us 86 rushing yards on 10 attempts. And the defense for Seattle in this game was awful. And going into this game, we knew that was going to be the case. At least I did, knowing the guys we had out. No Julian Love, no Devin Witherspoon. And honestly, the Bucs not having Bucky Irving, I think helped them in this game. Because I think if they had Bucky Irving, they would have tried running it more, and they would have tried more, balancing that running offense. And the Seattle defensive front is really good. 4 really good starters on the D-line, 2 good linebackers. And I think that we would have had, we did decently stopping the run. I mean, they only had 41 rushing yards with Rachaad White. They only had 56 rushing yards total. We didn't really give up anything in the running game. That's because this run defense was healthy. It was the pass defense that was not. So they, not having their starting running back, they were already going to have to go more pass reliant in the game anyways. Then you add in the fact that the Seahawks starting secondary was hurt, pretty much all of them. I mean, guys were getting hurt in the game. Guys were hurt coming into the game. I think Eamon Worry got hurt again in the game. I don't know. I don't remember if he finished the game or not, but I know he got hurt at some point. Woolen was out there, and he even had to come out of the game late. He got hurt. So we were running out there with Nehemiah Pritchett and Darion Kendrick and Josh Jobe, and the safeties were Kobe Bryant and Ty Okada. And it was no good. It was all bad. There was no defense. The defense didn't have any. There was no resistance. But that I didn't think was because the defense is terrible. I think it was just because everybody was hurt. I still think this is a really good defense. I'm not taking too much away from this game to say, oh, we're cooked. The defense is awful. We just need to get our guys back. And when we get our guys back, it'll be better, because this defense, it really is I do think we need another corner. I think I said that throughout the offseason, was that we did need another corner. The corner spot is a little weak. I mean, Spoon is awesome, and Woolen, I don't know. The idea of Woolen is great, but he always is getting cooked. But we do need more depth there. So, when you take out the best guy and then the second best guy goes down mid-game, yeah, you're going to have problems. You're going to have big problems in that secondary. But I think we have like 3 good safeties when they're healthy. Spoon, or not Spoon, Love, Kobe Bryant, and Eamon Worry if we can ever fucking see the guy. And the run defense is incredible. It's a great defensive line. They get to the passer very well without having to send blitzes. And the linebackers are really good too with Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight. I'm not worried about that defense. I think we'll get there. We just had a lot of guys banged up going up against a really, really good quarterback. And so you're gonna have problems in that game no matter what. When you're going up against Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay offense, even without Mike Evans and Bucky Irving, they're still a really, really good unit. So 38-35, that's a tough loss, down to 3-2. Still can't win a game at home. I looked at our I should pull that up real quick because we have this thing where Seattle, we can't win games at home anymore. And I did look at the last like 10 home games, and it was like all good teams coming in here. It was not like, where the fuck did I find it too? Stat Muse. All right, here we go. This is not. No, this is it. Okay. In our last 10 home games, we've played. Yeah, so there's one shitter on here that we lost to. The Giants last year, and that was the game where we were gonna win. We had the field goal lined up, and then they fucking jumped the line and block it and return it all the way for a touchdown. That's the shitter we lost. We lost to San Francisco at home, Buffalo, the Rams. We beat the Cardinals, Green Bay, and Minnesota last year. Those were all losses. And then this year, it's so far been San Francisco, good team. New Orleans, we beat by 30. And Tampa, good team, we lost to by 3. So, yeah, we're like, what is that? 2-8 in our last 10 home games. But it's not like it's bums coming in here and kicking our ass around. It's, Buffalo and San Francisco and the Rams, Green Bay. These are all Super Bowl favorites. Minnesota won 14 games last year. Tampa Bay this year. San Francisco again is good. It's good teams coming in and beating us. It's not. So it sounds worse than I think it is. It is bad though. It's really bad. We got to win some of these games. So that's that. That's the Seattle game. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch many games this week, so I can't really talk about many of these games outside of just the numbers. And honestly, it kind of is boring if I just sat here and listed off stats all day, so I'm not gonna do that. I saw like the last 8 minutes of Sunday night, Patriots Bills, because I was watching the Mariners game 1 of the ALDS. Speaking of, that's going on as I record this, but I'm potting right now instead of watching it because we are down 9-3, and it's looking like, thankfully we won games 2 and 3. It's looking like we're coming back to Seattle for game 5, so that's good. We can, we still got another shot. It wasn't do or die. So maybe I'll talk about the Mariners later because I have watched. I didn't even really watch much of this series either because I've been working most of the time it's been on, except for game 1, which I was off and watching it instead of New England Buffalo because I hate the Bills and the Patriots are boring. And the Mariners were on. I'm not watching Patriots Bills when a Mariner ALDS playoff game is on. Those things don't come around very often. When's the last time we were in the ALDS? I guess 2 years ago against Houston, but that barely even counted because we played one home game and scored no runs at home. Let's not talk about that. That was bad. I watched Chiefs Jags. I have a problem with these games where when I know what happens before I watch them, it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. I don't have as much fun. I know what's about. I know what's coming. Like I knew the Jags won. I knew the Mahomes 99-yard pick six happened. I knew Trevor Lawrence fell down and then got up to run in for the touchdown. Like I saw all this stuff happen and it was still fun. Like oh shit, 99-yard pick six on Mahomes. That never happens. They lost a game to fucking Jacksonville. That never happens. But I knew what was gonna happen. So it wasn't as exciting, so I couldn't really get into it. So yeah, I watched it, but I didn't really pay a ton of attention. I'm not gonna lie until like, oh, Mahomes just threw the pick six. Let me rewind and see what happened there. One thing I do remember noting is that in the second quarter, the Chiefs are up 14-0, and Trevor throws a shitter ball, and it lands. It goes right to a Chiefs defender, and he catches it, and then it slips. But it slips into the hands of another Chiefs defender who catches it, and then it slips, and it falls to the ground and is incomplete. And they are up 14-0, and if they get that pick, they can go down the field. The offense was rolling. They can go down the field, go up 21-0, and the game is over there. Instead, two guys drop one pick, and the Jags go in and score on that possession. Now it's 14-7, and that's what kept the Jags window open in this game. Because yeah, there was a lot of times the Chiefs did look like they were gonna roll, and then the Jags come back, boom, 21 unanswered points because they score that touchdown, they get a stop, get the ball back, score another one, and then the Mahomes pick six happens to go up 21-21. Chiefs answer back, to go up 21-14. Chiefs answer back. Jags go down, get 3, 24-21. Chiefs get the touchdown. And then the last possession happens, 31-28. Ends up being the final score. Mahomes threw 41 times, 29 of 41. Jags, Trevor Lawrence only threw 25 times. That's a pattern. I brought it up in one of my last pods, but that's a pattern that I'm noticing on these games. When I come look at these game stats, and I see the quarterback has like a 40 plus, some of them getting close to 50, a lot of those teams are losing. You know what I mean? There's the rare, like the Niners-Rams game. They just both threw a ton of attempts. What was it? I said it was 49 for Mac and 47 for Stafford. The Buccaneers-Seahawks game is probably another good example. Okay, no, not really. Both quarterbacks were incredibly efficient. Baker threw 33 and Darnold threw 34. So even that one's not a great example. There might not be another one this week. Goff only throws 23. This is another example of in my favor. Goff throws 23 attempts. Jake Browning throws 40, and the Bengals win, or the Detroit wins by 13. These quarterback matchups, you look at a lot of these games, and it's like, oh man, which quarterback threw for significantly more attempts? That team probably lost. It's a weird pattern that I've noticed this year. Here's an example of the opposite, even though they shouldn't have lost. Cam Ward, 21 of 39, and Kyler was only 31. And Cam Ward and the Titans won, but that game was drunk. That game does not count. That game did not happen. It's not real. So that's just something I've been keeping in mind all year. Justin Fields versus Dak Prescott. 18 of 29 for Dak. Low attempts, efficient. 32 of 46 for Justin Fields. 37-22. That means that these teams, this could be very simple. These teams are getting down early, and they just have to throw the ball a lot. And that's why these Justin Fields and Jake Browning and these guys' attempts are getting so elevated. Mahomes. These attempts are getting elevated because the Mahomes and them weren't down. I don't know, that just was weird. That's just because the Chiefs don't have a run game. So I'm fucking this up. I'm trying to explain it properly, and I'm confusing myself as I try to explain it. There's two ways this can go. You can either be like Mahomes and the Chiefs, where you have to throw the ball a lot because you don't have a good running game to rely on, even if you're leading or, in a close game. And then there's like the Jets, where it's like, okay, the Jets just get down early because they're not good, and so they just have to throw. And so even if they do have Breece Hall or good running backs, or, a good running back, it doesn't matter because they're down double digits probably early on in the game, and they just kind of have to start letting it rip. So it's something I've noticed. It's something I'm keeping an eye on. Could be a trend throughout this season, where a lot of these high attempt quarterbacks, I'm seeing them and they're losing games. Things are not going well if your quarterback is into the 40s on attempts. And damn sure if he's getting close to 50. Unless you're Mac Jones, apparently. Which, Jesus Christ. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I could talk a little Mariners baseball here. I haven't talked to any Mariners this year because I haven't been able to really watch games. One, because I've had stuff to do. I didn't have entire days this summer, but also because when I didn't have shit to do, I can't get these games, man, because now I have YouTube TV, and Root Sports isn't on YouTube TV, and Root Sports wants like $20 a month for like their own Root stream or whatever the fuck it is. They want like $20 a month for that, and that's ridiculous. And they shut down Meth streams last year, and then they shut down Stream East middle of the year. So I've been having to go through these, these bogus ass sites. I keep finding new good ones, and then those ones disappear, and now I have to keep looking for another one, and then I find one, and then it's gone, or I find one and it's still there, but one day it just doesn't want to work, and then the next day it does. It's ridiculous. I haven't been able to watch, but it's, like I said, it's now final, 9-3 the final score. We're going back to Seattle for Game 5. And it's not, Game 3 was concerning because we got up so big. It was 9-1 or whatever it was. And then they chip away because we put in fucking, what's his name? I don't even remember his name. He's terrible. Every time I've watched him pitch this year, things have gone horribly wrong. And yet they decided to put him in the game anyways. Let me find him. Let me find this fucking guy, because he stinks. Found him. Caleb Ferguson. That's the guy's name. This guy sucks. Every time I've watched him pitch this year, we've either lost that game or, blew the lead or what. He's terrible. And for some reason, Dan Wilson keeps putting him in. He surrenders 3 hits, 3 runs, and a walk. And so then we had to bring in Munoz to finish out a game that we were up 9-1. And that just, you don't want to have to, when you're up 9-1, you shouldn't have to bring your closer in. You should be able to get out of that game without having to bring in your closer. But we already used Brash, and we already used Bizzardo. So we had to bring in somebody to fix the Caleb Ferguson. Honestly, I probably would have just wanted them to just roll with Bizzardo, because Bizzardo pitched the 8th. And instead of going to Ferguson just keep Bizzardo in there. I mean, Bizzardo's been good. Brash pitched the 7th, so I mean, obviously Brash would have been the most preferred one, but he pitched the 7th, so you weren't going to keep him in for the 8th, and you weren't, you obviously can't go back to him at that point. But Bizzardo, I probably would have kept him in. I mean, even if he gives up a hit on the first pitcher or on the first batter, then whatever, take him out. But going to Caleb Ferguson is just always a bad idea because the guy is not good. And so that sucked. And then today, I'm watching the game. We go up 3-0. And then in the 5th, Detroit just go on a run. They got, how many runs did they get in that? Or was it might have been, I'm trying to find it right now. Let me see. Damn, the MLB app is weird. Okay, yeah, it was the 5th. They get 3 runs in the 5th. to tie the game. Dingler doubles. Jahmai Jones doubles, and then Javi Baez hits a single. And then the Mariners go back, can't get anything. Riley Green homer, 4-3. McKinstry single. Torkelson scores, 5-3. And then Javi Baez homers, 2-run homer, 7-3. And then Gleyber Torres homers again in the 7th. So it was all bad. Things went very wrong very fast in this game today. But, you know, coming back to Seattle, we've been really, really good at T-Mobile Park this year. The pitching, I'm worried about I don't know who's gonna start, because Brian Wu is off the roster, and now the 4 guys have all already pitched. So we're gonna be having to face Tarek Skubal, and we're gonna have to be sending out, I guess, probably Kirby, because Kirby pitched game 1, and I wasn't very impressed with Kirby's game 1 outing. It wasn't bad. I mean, they only scored 2 runs. I don't know if did he even give up a run. He might not. That might have been one of those games where it was like, oh, he didn't even give up a run, and I just don't remember liking what I saw. Oh no, that was game 2 that I was just looking at. Okay, okay, never mind. Game 1 had the same score, 3-2. It's just that they won, we lost. Let's see if I can find it. Kirby. Okay, no, I was right. 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, but he wasn't lights out. And I don't really think Kirby has been all year, from what I've seen and what I've heard. Obviously, he's still Kirby. He's still. I mean, this entire lineup of pitchers, the entire rotation is awesome. And it just sucks we don't have Brian Wu. It sucks we have to throw out Kirby again, even if just for the fact that the Tigers hitters have already seen his stuff. Because that's one of the big benefits of this Mariners team this year, is like, well, they've got 5, and the last couple of years, like, they've got 5 guys that are just awesome. So, you know, in the playoffs, mostly you're going to shorten your rotation down to 4, but Seattle was probably not going to, you know. Seattle was probably just going to keep running the 5 guys. But now that Brian Wu is hurt and off the divisional series roster, we're going to have to throw, I'm guessing, George out. I don't think they're going to. I would assume it's George. I don't think they're going to mess the rhythm up. I guess they could probably, in theory, go back to Castillo, because Castillo was awesome in game 3. And they did have a day off in the middle. So, like, if they really, really wanted to, I think they could go to Castillo. But I don't think they will. And I don't probably think they should. I think just go with George. He's probably the guy. You know, I still trust him. He might still be the ace of this team. I'd probably give that title to Logan Gilbert this year. But I mean, that's just the thing. It's like, well, it's been Castillo for 3 years, and then last year it was like, oh, it's George Kirby, and then in the midway point it was kind of like, oh shit, is it Logan Gilbert? And then to start the year, Logan Gilbert got the opening day start, and he's kind of been the ace all year. But Kirby, it's not like Kirby's like gotten worse. He's just kind of, Gilbert's just been awesome, and Castillo has just been. He's still been really good too, and Brian. And then honestly, at like the halfway point of this year, we start thinking, is Brian Wu the ace? It's like every guy in this rotation has been arguably the ace at some point in the last like 3 years, except for Bryce Miller. But he's the youngest one, or is he? Him and Wu are probably about the same. But the point is that Game 5, I would not lie. You have to be concerned. It's a win or go home. Friday, October 10 at 1:40 p.m. Okay, I have that day off too. That's good. Yeah, Skubal's listed as the starter for Detroit. It's TBD for Seattle right now. I think they'll go Kirby. I think they probably should go Kirby. Castillo, it's a little I don't think it's enough rest for Castillo, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's enough rest. So I would just go with Kirby and then just that the hope that you can beat Scooble for a fourth time because they've already beat him like 2 or 3 times this year. Hope you can beat Scooble again. You know, it's probably not a good. You don't want to go into a do or die, win or go home game against Tarek Scooble, but that's what we got to do. So let's fucking do it. All right, Beans picks. I'm not gonna lie. No, never mind. I'm good. The fucking this pod's probably been weird. It's probably I had to edit it a bunch. I already know because when I first started recording, my OBS crashed. So I started a recording. I had like 5 minutes of recording, and then my OBS crashed, and then I don't know what got saved and what didn't. So I don't remember how much I talked about Beans picks earlier, and if it's all still there, if it survived the crash or not. Some of it did. I don't know what didn't though. I'll figure that out in the editing. But 5-20, 5-9 this week. Rams, Vikings, Dallas, Ravens, Miami, Colts, Giants, Eagles, Seahawks, Cardinals, Commanders, Detroit, Buffalo, and Kansas City were my picks. The only one of those teams that won were Minnesota, Dallas, Indiana, or Indianapolis, Washington, and Detroit. 5-9 week brings us to 33-27-1 on the season. Shout out to the Cowboys and the Packers for fucking me over. For an entire year, I'm going to live with that one on my schedule. That brings us into week 6 picks, where I have to go over 500 this week. I'm at risk of going under 500 on the season, and I cannot have that. Thursday night football, the 4-1 Eagles at the 1-4 Giants. I will take the Eagles, even though the Eagles are struggling. They lost to Denver in a game that they should have won. There's concern. Is A.J. Brown happy? Does he want to be traded? What's up with why can't they figure out how to throw the ball and run the ball both effectively? They can only do one. They're still better than the Giants. The 3-2 Broncos against the 0-5 Jets. 0-6 is bad. A part of me wants to pick the Jets just because they're 0-5. Are they really going to go to 0-6? But they're playing Denver, and Denver's a good team, and it feels like Denver's figured it out a little bit. They started off a little shaky, but they just beat Philly. They looked good against the Colts. They probably should have beat the Colts in week 2 or whatever that was. I'm going to pick Denver because, that's a London game too, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's a London game, 6:30 a.m. God damn it. Seattle at Jacksonville. I'm picking Seattle. I like that. I like the way the offense looks. I'm not as intimidated by the Jags offense as I am the Bucs offense. Hopefully we get at least Spoon back or at least Love back. Get one of them back. And then if neither of them, maybe DeMarcus Lawrence back. Just get some more help on the defensive line. Just, improve the strength of this defense even more by getting him back. It's tough. I don't know what to do. And so, no, I do know what to do. I don't know what they do. I don't know what to do with the corners is kind of what I meant. I know I'm picking the Seahawks though anyways because Sam Darnold is awesome. And what's it going to take for Sam Darnold to get into these MVP talks? I'm looking at everybody's talking about MVP and it's, Baker and is Daniel, how far up is Daniel Jones and Josh Allen and, what's Mahomes going to have to do to get back in it and can Lamar have let's talk about Sam Darnold. We're going to get to the point where we're going to have to talk about Sam Darnold again, and it's going to make some people uncomfortable and unhappy, but we're going to get to that point. Chargers at Miami. Jeez, the Chargers lost again to Washington, 27-10 last week. One of the only games I picked correctly was picking against the Chargers. They've kind of, they started 3-0. Justin Herbert was everybody's All-American Justin Herbert. Everybody loves him. The nerds love him. The stat guys love him. He throws such a pretty ball, but he doesn't win football games. And he doesn't come up in big moments when you need him. But man, his spiral is tight, man. He throws a tight spiral, doesn't he? Very impressive physical attributes for Justin Herbert. But they're 3-2 again, staring mediocrity in the face. But they get Miami. Miami stinks. You don't know what to do. Don't know what to do with Miami. They just really they stink. So I guess I have to pick the Chargers. Oh man. And I'm leaving here with something game of the week. Los Angeles Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. I'm leaving here with something because I'm picking the Rams. I said it on one of my last pods. I said I was going to pick the Ravens and the Seahawks every week no matter what. I lied. I lied. We are not going to win this game. And you know what? So if we do, I will gladly take the loss on Bean's picks because that means we'll be all the way back. We'll be 2-4 going into the bye, getting Lamar back after the bye, and if that's the case, we're gonna win the damn division. AFC North is ours. If we lose, I get a Bean's picks right, and my record, and I can save my record a little bit. So we're gonna roll with that. The Rams to win. It hurts, but. And I hate the Rams, NFC West. I don't want them to be any good. Them dropping to 3-3 would be nice. Dallas at Carolina. Give me Dallas. Dallas is a team I'm probably going to pick a lot too because that offense is so explosive. And they're a weird team where they can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody. Because they can beat anybody because Dak and that offense is explosive and they put up a lot of points and they can score at will. But they can lose to anybody because that defense is god-awful and they can't stop anybody. So, maybe Dak and the Cowboys offense puts up 35, but their defense gives up 42 to Carolina. It's possible, but I'm picking Dallas. Arizona at Indianapolis. I'm picking Indy. They're really good. They're going to be a really good. They started off the year and I was like, they're definitely the Saints of last year, but where the Saints were 2-0 and everybody was like, wow, they score so many points and they're explosives and Alvin Kamara's back and Derek Carr. The Colts are not that. They're 4-1. Jonathan Taylor looks to be all the way back, unlike Kamara was, because he's been doing it for 5 weeks. He's on my fantasy team. Shout out. He's carrying. He's helped me get some wins. I don't. The Cardinals. That was a game where they lost to the Titans. That could very easily completely break their season. They could finish the season with 5 wins because of that game. They're a really good team. They look like they could be a really good team. They have something. But head coach is a question mark. Quarterback is a question mark on whether he's going to be there. The defense is good, but it's just that game is when the Bears last year lost on the Hail Mary to Washington and it completely tanked their season and they never recovered. That loss to the Titans was the kind of game that can tank a team's season and they'll never recover from that. And am I going to bet on Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon and those guys to flip the script and turn it back around? No, I'm not. So I'm going to take the Colts because they're good and because Arizona is on a free fall. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Dylan Gabriel, the starter. They traded Joe Flacco to Cincinnati. I guess Pittsburgh. I guess Pittsburgh. I don't like either of these teams. I hate that Pittsburgh is going to be 4-1. I hate that they're going to be, Pittsburgh, the start from the Pittsburgh. When do we have to start taking them serious? We do it every fucking year. Every year they're 4-1 or 4-2 or 5-1, and we have to talk about them as being good, and then they'll lose 4 in a row in November and be mediocre again. So Pittsburgh over Cleveland because Dylan Gabriel stinks. New England at New Orleans. Picking New England. I still don't think New Orleans is good, even though they won a game. They're not going to be the worst team in NFL history, but they still suck. Damn. That in this week's ass bowl of the week, the ass matchup of the century, the 1-4 Titans at the 1-4 Raiders. Oh Lord, what the hell? How am I supposed to pick this game? Cam Ward versus Geno Smith? You know what? No, I'm picking the Raiders. I'm picking the Raiders. I don't care. I don't care how I don't care how many times I have to pick them. Geno, we got this, man. Come on. It's the Titans. The Titans fucking stink. They beat the Cardinals. Geno, you own the Cardinals. Remember when you were over here in Seattle? You owned the Cardinals. They could not do shit with you. You own the Cardinals, and the Titans beat them. But, you can beat them because they, Geno versus Tyler Lockett. That'll be fun. Hopefully we get a picture of those guys together on the sideline before the game or something. I'll take the Raiders. 4-1 San Francisco at 4-1 Tampa Bay. God, I just know the Niners are going to win this game. I just know it. Because this is one of those games where every time when Seattle and the Niners, when Seattle plays a good team, we lose to them. And then the Niners go play them, and then they win on some bullshit. The Bucs just put up 38 on us, and then the thing is they're gonna get Bucky Irving and or Mike Evans back or whatever, and it's like, oh, they're actually better than they were against Seattle, but for some reason they only scored 24 points. And Mac Jones is Jesus Christ in a fucking uniform or some I don't know, man. I just know they're gonna win this game. I'm picking Tampa because I hate the 49ers, and I believe in Bake Show. But I just know in my heart of hearts the Niners are going to somehow win this game because they always win these fucking games. I hate them. God, I hate them. Cincinnati at Green Bay. 2-3 Bengals. They just traded for Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is going to start. Joe Flacco already beat Green Bay once this year. Is he going to do it again? No. That's my guy, but no, he's not. The Bengals suck. Green Bay, I think, is probably a little overrated. I regret picking them to go to the Super Bowl at this point. I already regret that. They're a September champion in my head, even though they were pretty mediocre in September. But everybody crowned them in September, and they're, I don't think they got it. I really don't think they got it. But they're better than Cincinnati. Sunday Night Football, Lions at the Chiefs. 4-1 at 2-3 Chiefs, man. Jeez. The Chiefs need this win. Detroit has been really, really good this year. They're all the way back. But at home, in Kansas City, Sunday Night Football, in a game that they need. They cannot drop to 2-4 in this division. Where if the Chargers and Broncos both win, it'll be 4-2, 4-2, and then 2-4. They cannot afford that. Just in general, they can't afford that. I mean, I still think they're going to win the division, and I think they're going to win this game. The Lions are great, don't get me wrong. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I know they're 2-3, but I still look at this as the Chiefs are a really good team, a great team. They're going to be one of the teams in the mix to play in the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl when it comes down to it in February. And those kind of teams don't drop to 2-4. And those kind of teams don't lose at home in big games with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. You know what, man? I just realized I said all that stuff about the Ravens before we played Detroit at home. And we got beat. So maybe I should pick the Lions. Maybe this is just what the Lions do. But the Chiefs don't have a defense that's anywhere near as bad as we do. I'm picking the Chiefs. But I'm in a bad mood now because I just thought about all that stuff I just said about how they're going to be one of the teams in the mix to win the Super Bowl. And I realized the Ravens won't be. Because we're fucking going to be 1-5. Monday Night Football, Bills at Falcons. Michael Penix and Josh Allen. Buffalo. I like Michael Penix. I like the Falcons. Those are my guys. Mike Penix is my dog, but that's a tough one. And then another Monday Night Football game, which I hate these. They're doing these a lot. They did this for like 3 out of the 4 weeks or like 3 out of the 5 weeks, and they're doing it again next week. And they're doing it this week, and they're probably going to do it the week. It's just, I hate the double Monday night game. It's not good. Bears Commanders should be on Sunday at 1:25. That should not be a 5:15 Monday Night Football game. That's dumb. So I'll take the Bills over the Falcons, and I'll take the Commanders over the Bears. And I'm not going to give either of these games the justice that they deserve because they're both going to be on Monday night, and it's just really dumb. I hate that. Texans and Vikings are the 2 teams on bye this week, which means we have 15 games this week 6. And my picks are as follows. Philadelphia over the Giants on Thursday Night Football. Denver over the Jets. Seattle over the Jags. Chargers over Dolphins. Rams over Ravens. That hurt to say. Dallas over Carolina. Indy over Arizona. Pittsburgh over Cleveland. New Orleans over the Saints. The Raiders over the Titans. Tampa Bay beats San Francisco. Green Bay beats Cincinnati. Kansas City gets the win on Sunday night against Detroit. The Bills go into Atlanta on Monday Night Football and get the win. And the Commanders win at home over the Bears on the other Monday Night Football game because we do 2 now for some reason. It's fucking stupid. 33-27-1, the total record for the year. Let's, keep building. We're over 500 still. It could be worse. Let's just keep being over 500. Let's have a good week. I feel good this week. I felt good last week. I felt good the week before. I feel good every week. Every week I end this pod with my picks and I say I feel good. I think I'm going to have a good week. And then, I have a terrible week. But such is life. You know what I mean? That's the pod for this week. Sorry if it was a little weird. And sorry if it's late. I probably won't get to upload this until tomorrow morning, to be honest. But that's, fucking way she goes. Alright, that's it.